Welcome to the another session, yet another. This is the final session. This is about teaching methodology and pedagogy. This is important. Say as many as 16 marks carry for these things. So about 32 questions will be there in DSC and about 6 marks question. That is about 12 questions will be there in TET examination. In this case, we would like to say, I will like to give a bird's eye view of all the topics that are there in this methodology. First, I will go with this curriculum and syllabus. The differentiation between the curriculum and syllabus. Curriculum is a full package. Suppose if the course is for the BSc course, for the BA course is for 3 years, all the 3 years course say the curricular activities, extracurricular activities and syllabus, all those things will be put in one place. In the case of languages, say the lesson of few lessons of the poem, few lessons of the poetry, few lessons of this non-detailed text and few grammar part, all of them are. Whereas in syllabus, it's only unit wise, it's 1 year wise. All the contents are made into simple units and they are fixed into the 1 year course. Course is actually the BA course or BSc course or BCom course is for 3 years, but they are going to make it as 1 year course, year wise plan and year wise say separation of these things and they put them under staple and all. This becomes a syllabus. So this is the wide difference between the curriculum and syllabus. Syllabus is say a document, a paper wherein say what we need to do exactly in the prose part, in the non-detailed text part and the grammar part and in this. This is listed out in one place. 3 such years, first year syllabus and second year syllabus, third year syllabus. If you put together, then it becomes curriculum for the whole course. Now these days, see central government is planning to have 4-year course, then we are going to make it into the 4 different parts. Okay, this is it, curriculum and syllabus. Then once the syllabus is designed for the particular course, then what do? We will go for say macro and micro planning. First we will plan for the macro. Macro is for the entire year. Throughout the year, say what we need to do, starting from the June till the March. Say month-wise syllabus we will divide, and then we will divide into month-wise syllabus into this week-wise syllabus. Then from the week-wise, then we will go for the minute one. We will cut short into this say actual period syllabus, period plan. This is what we do. Planning is very important. We need to plan this say micro planning and macro planning. First we do this macro, the entire 1 year syllabus we will make it. Then starting from this say of course say leaving behind this holidays and vacation and all, we will see how many working days we will tentatively we will get for this particular academic year. We will see accordingly we will plan, and that should part of the syllabus should include from the prose, from non-detailed text and from the prose and say even grammar and other items are also they are divided. So first we will plan for the annual plan, then from there say we will quarterly plan, say half yearly, then quarterly plan, then monthly plan. From the monthly plan we will divide it into say actual lesson plan. In the lesson plan, say it is a micro teaching. We just have only one item and we will start teaching from there. Then we will expand it for the full course. Then further we will go the other way around. So this is all about your say outline about this say curriculum designing and syllabus, the difference between the curriculum and syllabus, and there could be a question or there could be a couple of questions based on this. What is the curriculum, how it is different from syllabus, and what is syllabus, how it is different from curriculum, what is micro planning, what is macro planning, etc. These kind of questions may be there in the examination. Then say we have say lesson plan, actual lesson plan. When we go into the lesson plan, we have 5 E's: engage, enlarge and explore and these things. In the case of engage, say first one, say we will have say we will test the previous knowledge and we will declare the topic. This is one part. Then say after declaring topic and all, then we are going to display the face sheet and all. Then we will go details into these things, and finally we will also evaluate. This is how the process of all these steps will go there. So I would like to talk about this approaches, methods, techniques of teaching in English. Then I would like to differentiate between what is the method, what is the say approach, and what is the technique and all. A method is say determines what and how much is taught, and the order of sequence in which it is taught. These two things say talk about method, and how we are meaning say the meaning and form are conveyed, and what is done to make use of the language unconscious. This is very important. We have to choose a method in which determines what to be taught and how much is to be taught. This is two things. The order and sequence in which they have to be taught, and how the meaning and form are conveyed, and what is done to the language unconsciously. The student shouldn't feel that say deliberately we are doing something to the language. Subconsciously it has to be taught to the student, and student should not feel that something is say forcibly applied on him. Okay. Then the selection, gradation and the repetition of the instructional materials, a detailed plan for the presenting language material. So a method describes about the selection of the material, gradation of the material, selection, gradation and all. As I told you in the curriculum, we have say difficult, say there are about 10 or 20 units we need to teach in the course of 3 years course. So what do we do is say we'll just choose this, and always this it is in a spiral, and it goes from the easy to the difficult one. From the known to the unknown one. The smallest units, the easiest ones we will put them, try to put them in the first year and the first semester. Then the little difficult ones will be in the second semester. Likewise, it keeps on going to the second, third, fourth levels. In case if it is engineering course, it will go for up to 4th level, and if it is medicine, it will go up to 5th level and all. So how much is taught, what is taught, and selection, gradation and repetition of the instructional material. Instructional material, of course, this is also very important, and we will keep an eye on this, and a detailed plan for the presenting language material we will see. Then we will have say definitions of this approach. Approach reflects the actual nature of the language and deals with this teaching procedure and learning experiences. It establishes a relation between the theory and practice and of language teaching, and it was first used by Anthony E.M. in 1965. This is it. The direction in which it is going place. The direction in which it is, see, it is approaching towards the Secunderabad station, it is approaching, we are going towards the railway, 𝗂𝗽𝗱𝗁 railway station, etc. This is approach. It reflects the actual nature of the language and which deals with the teaching procedures and learning experiences, and it establishes a relation between the theory and practice of the language teaching. It was first used by this Anthony in the year 1965. Then technique. Technique is, say, this is a classroom. This is it varies from the individual to individual. See, in the approach and methods, you have to be very clear about this approach. Approach and say method. Approach, say, suppose if I wanted to go to from here to Hyderabad to Chennai, I have 3 ways. I can go by flight, I can go by say road, or I can go by rail. Suppose from Chennai to Calcutta, if we take, we can also have one more way, that is say waterways also. Seaways. Say by air we can transfer, we can transfer from transport, and by sea, then by road and by rail, all 4. Right. So approach reflects the actual nature of the language and deals with the teaching procedures and learning experiences. It establishes a relation between the theory and the practice. This is very important. Now you know about the approach, the direction in which we are going. Then method, see whether I choose say railways or whether I choose say roadways by bus or by train or by air or by seaways, ship, how do I travel and all. This makes the difference. Then we have a technique. It is a strategy a teacher uses in the classroom to put across his teaching. Use of the blackboard, illustrating a point, say explaining a concept, etc. And usually every individual teacher has his or her own techniques, with the help of which say they'll drive the attention of all the students towards his teaching. They motivate them towards his class. Then he delivers his lecture. They vary from the teacher to teacher, and even a senior teacher also, through his experiences and all, he'll just say have a different techniques. And if one technique doesn't work with this particular set of students, then he keeps changing into the next way. Or for one lesson he uses one technique, for the other lesson he may use some other technique. Techniques, say, they are independent and individual, and they vary with this class size and the number of the students and the standard of the students, and also the level of teaching of the teacher. And if the teacher is repeatedly teaching the same topic for the same subject for the past 3-4 years, continuously working in the same school, his techniques may look alike, but there would be slight difference in the techniques. Of course, I never use the same technique for this same set of students, or even for the different set of students also. I keep changing my techniques so that always they should be on toes. Students should be on toes. At any moment I may ask any question, so they should be get ready to face my questions and all. So I use the techniques. Often a method and approach are used interchangeably in the literature of language learning. Of course, however, so I hope that you have got a very fair idea about what exactly it is an approach, then what is a method, and what is a technique. Approach is in which direction we are moving, which direction we are going. It is a broad term, And suppose if I am moving from say here to Warangal, I can have two roads. Either I can go by roadways or I can go by train. If I go to some other place from Hyderabad to some other place in North India, say Delhi, I have three roads. Airways also I can use. And if it is say coastal cities and all, then in that case, say of course it's between two coastal cities, then they can also use say seaways. That is say approach, then technique, approach, technique, and say so method. Approach. The method is say approach is see which direction we are moving out, which city we are say planning to go ahead. Then say method is of course it is whether I am choosing the railways or whether I am choosing say roadways or whether I am choosing the airways or the seaways. This is a method. Then the third one is the technique. The technique is say individualized, and it depends upon the class of the individual teacher, and each teacher has his or her own techniques, and with the help of which he can complete this course and successfully he can be done with. We have say some methods of teaching in English. The first one goes is grammar translation method. It is one of the oldest methods of teaching English in India. It is also called as a classical method or traditional method. Actually, it is it uses the mother tongue of the learners to teach the rules of grammar deductively through the illustration and explication. Actually, this method does say when India was under this British rule, they started this method because they wanted to teach English to us. They wanted to teach English to the Indian students so that they can improvise their business. It's not for our education purpose, but to improve their businesses. So it was one of the oldest method. In Greek and Latin it was used, and even in India also for the uses of the Sanskrit language and other Prakritic languages and all, they started using this. Therefore, it is called as a classical method, and also it is called as a traditional method. This is one of the oldest method, therefore it is called as traditional method. Traditionally they started it, and though the British have come here, they started the same method. It is here the grammar rules are taught first, and followed by this they'll tell you how they are to be changed into this. Then the second method is called as the direct method. It's a method of teaching English language directly to the students in the same way as a child learns his mother tongue. See, the first one once again, in the grammar translation method, the boy is student is made to learn this language through the as he learns his own mother tongue. First, all the rules he makes use of the mother tongue, and mother tongue will have an influence on this, and all the rules, set of rules are listed out, and the rules are mugged up first, then followed by the rules are mugged up, then they are going to give a simple example, and the unit of learning there is complete sentence, not just a single word. And here the second method is called as direct method. It is a method of teaching English language directly to the students in the same way as the child learns his mother tongue. It's also called as a natural method or oral method. Here oral part is given more importance. There the written part, the grammar rules and all, they were taught and they are printed and they are stapled and they are given to the students and ask them to mug up and all. But here it's naturally they learn. And a mother tongue, suppose a student from the Bengal, if he learns English, then it will be taught in the Bengal first, then later it will be, translated into directly into Bengali. Suppose a student from Punjab, he wants to learn English, then he starts everything in Punjab, and if a student from Telangana or Andhra region, then they'll start teaching it as in Telugu. The local language they'll teach, it is directly in the same language, right? There is no translation. The translation part is in the grammar translation method. Grammar is taught first, then the subject and content and other things. Here not grammar. Here the content is it's delivered directly to the students, and it's also called as a natural method or oral method. First, the orally. Here the listening and speaking skills are given more importance. Unlike there reading and writing part, especially the writing part, the grammar rules are given, framed and given, and they are to be mugged up and learnt. This direct method, then we have, it uses only the target language. In the direct method, we use only target language. Suppose if I wanted to teach some language like Malayalam or Marathi or Hindi, then I am going to use the same language. There is nothing like grammar, no other language and no translation, nothing of that sort takes place. No translation is involved in that, and it was first used by Francis, and in the year 1901, and proposed by Harold Palmer in the earlier 19th century. Of course, see, there could be a question like this: who started it, and when did it started, and who propagated it, in which century it was very popular, it became popular, and all. This type of questions could be there, one or two. So you should be ready with this. I'm just giving a bird's eye view of this, what exactly I wanted to cover up this entire area, but you need to go through this syllabus once again. And say after this class is finished, I just gave this, say, some major points to be noted. Say it's like a crash course, as I said. It is the points to ponder are the important points that are to be noted there. Here I'm just focusing on, and you just go in detail and also go through the Wikipedia or any other say sources apart from this, say, BA textbook of your Telugu Academy. You also go through some of the textbooks from the other sources as well. So that will have an edge over the questions, the type of questions that you may get. So it is always use say learning method materials apart from the textbook. There are one or two textbooks are available in the market. One is by Telugu Academy, the other one is for some other publications. Just go through the other third one and fourth one also. That will help you a lot. If you have CFL books, FL books, you can also go through them. That will help you a lot in doing this. Then Dr. West's new method, this is another method. It is a short-lived method used in Bengal and Bangladesh during the British rule. Actually, it was made by the Dr. West, who happens to be in, say, during the Macaulay's days period in the 1856 and 1858. He was this deputy inspector of schools, and he went through this some of the schools, and he collected some of the students and he made them sit at one place, and then he listed out some few words and he started teaching those words, and with the help of these words he also expanded into this whole book and the whole syllabus. This is how he started. That's why he used to, the Calcutta was the headquarters in those days. So he lived in Bengal. So Bangladesh was also a part of India then in those days. So Bengal and Bangladesh, that's why I just now they are separated, but earlier they are together. Okay. It is the result of series of experiments conducted by Dr. West as a deputy inspector of schools. He felt Indian students needed much reading skills than the oral skills, and believed that without a teacher also reading skills can be developed. So you see here we have 4 fundamental skills like listening, speaking, reading and writing. One method is based on the oral skills, that is the direct method is based on the oral skills, and whereas the grammar translation method is on the reading skills. And now here is Dr. West's method he says that though it is short-lived, because he used it for experimental basis for a few years, as long as he was here it was okay, but the moment he left for England after transfer, he transferred after 4 or 5 years later, little later. So then once he left, then that has come to this standstill. He listed out about 500 to 600 words in English, Bengali words, and equivalent expressions in English he found out, and he gave a list of all those words, and they are called as a useful words list. Useful word list. UWL, useful list of words, ULW, something like that. You can use any abbreviation, but you just remember how many number of the words and who used it for the first time, and this is it. So he was the deputy inspector of schools. He did an experiment. He went to around the schools. Then he started picking up the students. He made them sit separately, like other methods are going on in other classes, but he picked up about handful students of 10 to 20 students, and he pulled them outside the classroom, not along with on par with the regular students. Then he started doing the experiment, and he did a lot of experiments, and of course he was a bit successful as well. Then we have some more things like, say, the 4 skills that we need to answer: listening, speaking, reading and writing. We have to develop these skills. This is the ultimate goal of this, say, what we call learning of any language, as the UNESCO said. So the first one is reading. In the reading, of course, we have, say, 2 types of the reading, skimming and scanning. If you wanted to read it for, say, the general information, we scan, and if you wanted to, we skim, and if you wanted to find out this specific information, definite information pinpointed to the particular, the year of birth, or say the date of birth, or the place where somebody was born. For example, it's you are reading out say an autobiography of 𝗪𝗏𝗏, or say we are say Abdul Kalam, or say Jawaharlal Nehru, or Mahatma Gandhi. Where was he born? We look around for this year in which he was born, the place, names of the places, etc. We just specifically we look for those things, details. In the case of Sachin Tendulkar and 𝗪𝗏𝗏, their achievements, their awards they got and all, these things we are going to look at. So in that cases, what do we do is, we will scan and we will identify the answers. generally if I go to the library, I'll just pick up a book and I'll just go through this and I'll look at this publishers and also the cover page, what the author wants to tell something about this, and this is called as skimming. And if I like that, say of course I never say read the politics, I never read sports, and I read other things. So my area of interest is something different. It's say novels, it's novels, say heroic novels and say scientific fiction. So I'll just look for those things, and in case if I find it very interesting, I'll borrow the book, otherwise I'll just put it back. So scanning and skimming. Skimming is for the general information to know what exactly it is there in this reading, and scanning is for the specific information, the years of the birth, the achievements, the awards. Sachin Tendulkar he made 100 centuries in the first class cricket. That is an achievement. He was awarded with the Khel-Ratna, Bharat-Ratna and Padma Shri. These things are awards, and that is achievement. If I wanted to look at for this information, there are two methods we use these two. Then there is another way is also called as another skill is to be developed there is reading between the lines. Suppose say Virat Kohli, he first played a test match at the age of 17. After 4 years, then he joined say in the under-19 World Cup. After 4 years, he was a part of this regular team. And there you cannot find out, suppose if it is a year is 2010 or 2011 is a year in which he played under-19. Then after 4 years means you have to add 4 years to that 2011, so that it becomes 2015. If you look for the 2015 in this paper, you won't find that. So this is called as reading between the lines, and this skill you have to develop. So after 2 years, after 7 years, after 10 years, etc. So these things, this is called as reading between the lines. This is all about your reading skill. And second one is listening. Listening, in the listening part is we have two types of listening. We casually listen and we forget. This is one. And focused listening. We listen to the our teachers focused. We listen to this, suppose if I am traveling say in a bus and somebody is giving say his address and somebody is giving his phone number. So what I do is the phone number, of course I have focus because I need to copy that down the number or address and all. But somebody is passing by and he is saying about chai and coffee, etc. Those things, of course, I listen them, but I am not going to say pay any attention for this. I just listen just for listening. And listening and hearing, the hearing is say it's casual, whereas listening is purpose and it is focused on. With a definite purpose, I'll just do this. Okay. This is about the listening skill. These are the two things that we need to know about the listening, and also we need to develop the skills. For say developing the listening skills and all, there are different ways. Say in the language laboratory and all, we will take the students to the and we will ask them to pronounce correct pronunciation and correct listening and all. This is kind of exercise we will do. Then we have the third skill like say reading, listening, and writing. In the case of writing, of course, say we will just give you the tips. Accuracy is very important. Say connectivity is coherence is very important. Then say topic sentence and making this topic sentence and all, this is very important. And this kind of questions are also included there in this year syllabus. Say if you can able to identify this, say the topic sentence, then you will half of the answer you will get. There is an exercise where 4 sentences are given and put them in the order. If you ask them to put them in the order, say you need to know this what the first sentence should be like. Once upon a time there lived a king, and he had 7 sons, and they all went for this, say what we call hunting, fishing, and say the later they came back and they lived very happily, and they made fish pickle and they lived happily they ate the fish pickle for the next 7 days, etc. The story goes like this, and you should know this, what is the first sentence should be. He cannot begin with the second, and his sons went for the say fishing and all, that cannot be the opening sentence. Then you have to go back to the once upon a time. That would be your topic sentence, and the final sentence would be they lived say happily for the 3 or 4. So this is writing part. This is very important. Then say writing the topic sentence, identifying the topic sentence, and also going through the other things. This is very, very important. Okay. Then so after say writing part, then we have reading, writing, speaking. Speaking, of course, say this is one of these most important skill, and most students fail to do this. As I said that it is an active skill. There are 2 types of skills like active skills and passive skills. Reading and listening, of course, they are active skills. and writing, and say these are passive skills. And in the passive skills, of course, we are going to do this. As I told you, say there are two types of the skills, like say active skills and say passive skills. And say speaking is an active skill, and this is one of the important say this is very important for the communication. Most of the students fail to communicate. They know the answers, they know that, but they, when they ask them to speak in front of the audience or even among the class, say class fellows also, they feel shy to speak out. So we should make, every teacher should make all the students to make say speak. That there should be a speaking session every day, and about 5 to 10 minutes you should make every child to speak out. First, say with the help of the paper, a bit of paper and all. Otherwise, say ask them to by heart things and let them speak out, and this is it. Then these are the basic 4 skills that we are talking about. So this is very important. Ultimately, the language, say the usage of the language is, say it depends only on this, how successfully we use this for communication purposes. This is very important. For these purposes, say okay, then we have finally we have say the last topic of this one is say remedial teaching. Remedial teaching is, say it is nothing can be learned perfectly. Nobody can learn everything perfectly. So it is, I am not going to reteach the whole thing, but it is a quick and extended revision. It's a quick revision and also the extended revision. Suppose if I am placed as the class teacher for the class 8th, and the students from the class 7th, they passed out, the students will come to me, and then I realize that say something was not say taught properly in the class 7. I cannot teach, I cannot go back to the class 7 book, and I cannot bring it to the classroom, and I cannot start teaching this class 7. So if I start doing that, it will take about a month or so, and therefore I will be losing most of my time. So 8th class say portion will be pending. So in that case, what do I do is, I'll just make a quick revision of this, only this say exercise part, not the theory part, highly specific and need based. If there are a particular set of students who are very, weak in students and all, so I'll just focus on them and I'll just do this, and it should not interfere with the new teaching. I just do my 8th class syllabus. Apart from the 8th class syllabus, I also take out some time for 5 to 10 minutes and I also revise this 7th class syllabus. And it's oral course, more with the practice than the theory. I don't ask them to bring the books and all, but however I teach the 7th class syllabus, but I don't ask them to bring the books and bring the notes and all. I just teach them orally and then finally do this and test and check for the high achievement. And of course, I'll do that at the end of this, and this is all how I'm going to do this. Here in this session, I would like to say a quick wrap up of all these things. I just talked about the curriculum. From curriculum, say I have differentiated with the syllabus. From the syllabus, of course, what did I do is macro planning. From the macro planning, I entered into this micro planning, and say from the micro plan, it's a yearly plan. Then from there, it's quarterly, half yearly and quarterly plan and weekly plan. From the weekly plan, I entered into this, say what we call lesson plan. So these are the various stages of these things. It's very important, and there could be a question on what is micro planning, what is macro planning, how do this, how do we do this, and all these kind of questions will be there. And then I try to distinguish between this, what is a method and what is say an approach, and also what is say technique. Then I have differentiated this, and then later I went into this the skills, the 4 skills, and there is how we are going to improvise their skills and all these things. And finally, I just had as a remedial teaching, that is say it is not as a reteaching, it is not teaching the whole thing, it is teaching only the oral part, and it's not the say theory part and practice part and all. And I'll make them students to fit into this next higher class, and also I just check them and for the higher achievements. So this is a quick revision about this, say your this methods of teaching and all. This is very important topic, and you please go through all the topics that are listed out there. It carries 16 marks, as well as say about 30 questions, 30 to 33 questions will be there. Each one carrying of course only half mark. Don't be panic, and happy learning, and say good luck for you for your TRT or DSC examination. Thank you very much for being with me, and with this I conclude.